Welcome back to the third part of the onboarding app series. Where we left off is we're getting ready to build the 4 tabs out, right? So what we're going to do, what I did is basically here, these are just a bunch of text fields, or text inputs, I'm sorry. And then if you look here, each text one is basically, you're using Bear ID to identify something, right? So in here, I'm using the user profile to pull out the person's last name, which is the surname, using the user profile. First, last name. Now, the employee ID is that employee ID that we put on our onboarding list, right? Our onboarding form. So it actually is pulling the employee ID from that 16-digit number that identifies that employee. The first 10 digits is the employee ID number. So it's basically I'm grabbing the edit record field, or the edit record variable that holds the whole record, and I'm pulling out the employee ID one. And you do that for each one of these. Cell phone, I did a little customization so the phone number looked natural. And that's what this is for. It basically stripped it down to the numbers and then put it in this format. Okay. This is basically looking up in the user profile, the account enabled property. If it's true, it sets it to enabled. If it's not true, it's disabled. Okay. This is a street address, city, state, and zip. Okay. Second tab is work. Okay, so if we go into the work tab, it's just other fields. Okay. I'm not going to go through all these, there's no reason to. But you can set these up however you want. Well, that one's definitely wrong because that's a phone number and it's supposed to be a PIV ID. So I could fix that later. All right, so that's where we left off in the last video, right? Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is training. Okay, so the training one, let me bring up my so I can look off of it. Now training, we're basically going to replicate this. So let me bring this down into the other thing here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate this right here. Okay, so these where it says course 1, course 2, course 3, those are going to be your course names. Okay, and then over here, this is basically going to either say never taken, or it's going to put the date that it was taken. So you can track the last time that course was taken. Okay, and then this over here, we're going to build this out. It's to upload files to your document set for that person. Okay, because each person's going to have their own document set. And it's just basically a folder on the document library. Okay. When you upload stuff, it's going to write to this box saying, hey, this is the thing. And then it's going to create a little hyperlink right here that actually says, this is your, this is a link to the document if you want to open it up. That way everything's done internally to this, right? So let's pull this back out. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all these text labels so I don't have to reproduce them. Oh, that's not good. Just give me a second here, and I'm going to click these and copy them down so I don't have to waste time on here doing it. Okay, so we're going to go in here. We're going to paste those labels in. Oh, put way over there, huh? All right, so it goes somewhere around in here. Okay. Now the reason these are like this is because of this variable is different than what I'm using over here. So this one Okay, GB tab selected 3. That's mainly all wrong with this. That way, when we move from tab to tab, this disappears when there's not in training. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we got these. I'm sorry about all the yawning. I've had a long day today. These text boxes, text inputs, I'm going to copy those down. And I'm going to put them down here. We're going to run into the same thing because I didn't stay with the same variable names, so I probably should have done that. And I'm going to try to line them up best I can. That looks pretty close. And just like the other one, the visible is going to be wrong. We're just going to change the var to GB. I switched to shorter pre-names, if you want to call them that. GB is just global variable. And then our text field, this will be default probably. Yep. Okay. Here? No. Oh, they're all different, that's why. So go here. This one says if is blank gallery 3 selected course 1 ever taken, otherwise gallery 3 selected course 1. All right, so that's just the date. The date that's going to be under the course 1 column, that's what it's pulling in. Okay. So there's a good chance I think we don't even have these columns even made yet. So let's go in here and let's open up our library. Let's see what we got here. I honestly don't remember if I created them or not. So we're going to sign into our account. We're going to scroll over here. Oh, no, there. So these are the columns we're referencing, okay? Basically, under the item that we're in, or the person we're in, it's going to look up these. If there's dates in here, it's going to pull them. If there's nothing in there, it said never taken. As you can see, each person has their own line. Okay. Let's go back here. More than likely, the only thing wrong is the gallery name. So, and we're recording that because in this back to when we're on our onboarding screen, I need to get the gallery number of this. So just select all gallery, look at the bottom, and it's gallery 1. Okay, so we're going to copy this. We'll go back into our thing. Go back to training. We'll go here. So you basically got to change 3 to 1 on both sides. And it should line up. Since that date is blank, it says never taken, which is what it should do. It's looking in that column, seeing, checking if it's blank. If it is blank, it says never taken. If it is not blank, it puts whatever in the column, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and fix those real quick. Okay, I went ahead and replaced those gallery 3s with gallery 1s, and now they all say never taken because there's no dates, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put an icon here for our upload screen. Okay, we have not made the upload screen yet, so we're going to end up building that as well. So what I do is I like using the icon for the little plus sign. So, we go insert and we're going, you can just type add up here and it'll give you all the add icons. I like add library because it looks like multiple documents going in there. So I click that. We'll bring that over here. And of course, we're going to make it about the same size as the other thing. So I think they're like either 30. Yeah, I think it was 30. All right, and we'll just bring it down here and match it up with our row here. Now, before I go down with all these, I'm going to build this one out first. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my other one. I think all I did is I put one variable on it and that was it. And you wonder why I keep looking up my monitor, my other monitor above me. Here, I don't remember how I said this. One more bar up. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the code from my other one onto this one. Open this up. Double click, paste. All right, so the first thing I did is I set a variable called type of cert. That's basically going to house the name of the course, right? What I'm going to use that for later is when I make my hyperlink, that's going to be the name of the course, okay, that I took. Second one, I'm making another variable that I'm using as a prefix to the on the file name, so that way when I make it up, it is standardized, okay? And then I'm going to grab the person's last name, their first name, type of cert, which is from up here, and a dash. That's the prefix. That's what's going to be on every file. And then the rest of the file name will be typically just whatever the file name was, right? But it's giving you everything you need to know if it gets orphaned somehow. And then we're going to open up our window, our container, with our file upload screen in it. And that's what this is. Okay, so every screen is going to look like, everyone's going to look like this. Really, the only, for my example though, since mine are course 1 through 8, all I'm going to do is change this. I'm going to change this to whichever one it is. Okay, so, but since I'm spelling out the numbers, I'm just going to keep with that. Okay, copy this again. Well, actually, I don't have to copy. I'm going to make a copy of the thing. Okay, so these buttons are active all the time. Okay, so we don't have to put any visibility or display mode stuff on them, right? Last thing we're going to do is we're going to create a link box over here that's going to house the link to the file. Okay, and you'll see how to do that here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's set up all our stuff here, right? So I'll just start at the bottom here. There's one. There's another one. Why do I have too many? Nope. Yeah, need one more. Now, I'm gonna go through and set all I'm gonna pause the video for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and set all these things here, what I just did to the first one, and then I'll be right back. All right, so as we click on each one of these, you'll see the only difference between them is the first line. So that says course 1, says course 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and create our upload screen. So I'm going to go up to my original one. Oops, it's underneath. Original one. There we go. So we're going to open up our screen, and I'm going to make a copy of it. I don't have to sit there and waste your guys' time, you know. So here, yep. I'm going to go Control A. Oh, nope. What to do? Copy that. We're going to come down here, and you got to make sure you're inside this screen right here, right? So I'll just everything's in. So there's my onboarding screen. User dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to paste. Guess I'll have to do each individual thing, I guess. Copy. All right, what we're going to do is create a container. Go layout. Go bottom one container. Now I'm going to make this fairly large just so it takes the whole screen. We're going to give it a background color because by default it's transparent, right? We'll go like this. That way it's easy to see. I'm going to paste all my fields I just copied from. Oh, keeps trying to. Paste in the stuff I don't want. There we go. I'll see if it pastes right. Paste. Nope. It will not copy from one to the other for some reason. B. I don't really want to redo all this. It will not copy from another browser screen. Used to work. Okay, fine. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video so that way you guys don't have to watch me do this. I'll walk you through everything I do though when I'm done. Stand by. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, so I want to make sure I was recording still. Cool. I set up the upload screen. So basically when you click on this plus sign now, when it's active, it'll bring up this upload documentation screen. Okay, you have a file attachment box on the left side here, a button here, and there's an actual gallery here that you can't really see. Okay, it's invisible here. Let me turn the gallery back on so you can actually see what it looks like in real life. Turn it on. Okay, so even when you don't have any files, there's not much to look at, right? It has It's just a typical vertical gallery that has the 3 parts in it, the image and the 2 text boxes in it. So let's go ahead and attach a file. So let's go here, we hit attach file. Just grab, let's grab a couple images. Okay. Now, what's cool about this attachment box is you can drag and drop. You can use this and hit open. It doesn't matter how you do it. It'll all work the same. All right, so it uploads these images in here, and you'll notice that the image control inside here actually will contain the code. That's why he's able to display the image, right? And this right here is actually what it looks like. It's not the whole entire thing, but it's part of it. Okay, and then there's your name of your file. Okay. Now, just to explain how this works. Okay, first off, you got to pull the attachment file out of the edit control, right? So what I did is I brought up, well, we can knock through this real quick, I guess. So if I insert a edit form, and you can use any list you want. Every list in the world has a attachment control to it. A document library does not. Okay, so you have to use a list. Well, I have a data source list that I'm using I think I'm using it for the states to give you the listing of all the states. So you just click that, let it open. It's going to put all your fields for your list in here inside this edit control. It's going really slow for some reason. All right, so in here you have your edit control or edit form, right? Click inside the card, so you get just the attachment control. You go Control C, so you go Control C, click out of it, not in there, just onto the container itself and hit paste. Control V, there it is. Okay, and then what you're going to do is to clear off all those errors, you're going to go in here and you just basically just got to delete what's in the field, right? They're not, all these ones that are airing out are not necessary for it to work. I mean, you can't get rid of the properties, obviously, and then you just kind of reshape it how you want it. And then once you're done, you click on the edit form and just delete it. You don't need it no more. Okay. Now, I don't need this, but this essentially what this was. Okay. So I'm gonna go in here and delete this because I don't need it. Always deleted, but I deleted something. All right. So hope it's not what I think it was. All right. So you upload these. Okay. So you have this attachment control. And then what you do is for your items of your gallery, whatever you call this attachment control, dot attachments, which creates a table, which a gallery can handle, right? You must use a vertical gallery, though, not a blank vertical gallery, a vertical gallery. It has everything you need already. You don't have to add anything this way, okay? I know typically when you make a vertical gallery, it's blank. You don't have no controls in it. So that way you got to delete anything you don't want. Well, this has exactly what you need. I mean, you don't have to have this second text field. These two controls are the only thing I really need for this to work. Okay. Now, we got that set up. Now the real magic happens with the button right here. Okay. So I'm going to open this button up and show you what the code looks like. There's a lot in here, so just bear with me here. First thing we're doing is we're creating a collection. Okay. I call it cold files. I call it cold files for all my apps. And then we're going to, this item dot value that's in that gallery, in that picture, image thing, I'm going to extract that, and then we're literally only going to do is remove the quotes at the beginning and the end. But in order to do that, you have to do a song and dance with it. So this is right here, this with statement right here, starts right here and goes all the way down to here, I believe. Okay, this with statement basically filters out those 2 quotes, but keeps everything else. It works through, and when it's done, you'll see when it's done what it looks like. It literally just removes the quotes. Okay, and then it adds it into a field called base64. And then, of course, you got to grab your file name, because these are the two things to make a file, right? You need the file name and you need the content of the file. Okay, so that's what we're going to upload. So this collection's put together to do precisely that. And then we're going to run a flow called, I called mine Easy File Upload Onboarding App because it's for the onboarding app. I went ahead and uploaded it right here. So if you look at it, it's a pretty simple flow. It literally just grabs the stuff, we push to it, and uploads the file. Here we go again. It's loading slowly. All right, so here's where we grab our inputs right here. Our compose statement is going to grab the JSON input right here. I call it a compose input. I probably should call it JSON so I know what it is. The compose grabs it, pushes it to the parse JSON step, which we already have the schema already laid out. Okay. And then what it does is it loops through that array and creates a file based off of it. You know, it's got the library name, document name, file name, and then the content. And then we update. There's two properties I update after the file is uploaded, and that's the type of document and where's the other one? See, we type a document and whoops, got the wrong scroll bar there. Compose import the document. I could sort of something else. But we're adding a few things afterwards. Okay, so that's the flow. It's really simple. It runs this flow with these parameters. Okay, and then we're going to patch the name of the type of document it is. Whoops, that shouldn't be there. Should say 101E, 01ONE, not ONE1. All right, so basically it's a switch command. It looks at the whichever variable this is set to, and then it runs that particular patch command. And what it basically does is it sets the date of the particular course you just took. And then we reset our attachments field so that way it's blank again. We refresh our data source, which is our onboarding library, and then it closes the window. So let's see if I actually did this right. So we're going to hit upload now and see if it gives us any errors. Shouldn't. As you can see, it put today's date in there. Okay. Now, typically, you're not going to upload one file. Okay. It's only one course. I just showed that you do more than one. And I did delete the thing I didn't want to delete. Okay. That's not a problem. All right. So what that was an HTML text. I'm basically putting a hyperlink in there that's being returned from the flow. Okay. Since the variable is still there, I can probably still grab it. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this out. Go back and get my code from my other app, so I can put it back in here again. And then we're gonna change gallery 3 to gallery 1. Gallery 3 does exist, but it's not what this is referring to. Yep, it's still there. All right, so actually it's not pulling anything. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm doing a lookup. So you can see the link right here. I'm doing a look. Okay, if it says never taken, don't worry about it. If it has something in there, it looks up in the onboarding library where the email equals gallery one does selected email, which is the person that we're records in. And it says look at type of document where it equals course 1 and grab the link to item. So it's only going to grab the first thing. Okay. If you put more than one file there, or whatever is after that, it'll never find it. Okay. So if you click on it, it will open up something. Okay. See? So and it just says course one cert. And what you do here is you just replicate this down, and you make sure you reference this box here. So you click in here. As you can see, this box is highlighted. It says if text input.text equals never taken. Oh, does not equal never taken. I'm sorry, I misread it. I'm sorry. When it has less than greater than, that means not equal. Okay, so since it does have something in here, it's going to look this up. Okay, just make sure you can set that attachment box so it only shows one item, or it can only upload one file, which would be advisable. Okay, so I need to pause the video for a second. My battery's about to die now. So just give me a second here and let me go plug in my computer. Okay, I'm back. All right, so as you look through here, it's basically doing an href, looking up the first document, grabbing the linked item property, and using that as the URL, and then you put whatever you want in the text to be right here. Close the A tag, close the center tag. And that's basically all you do here. Boom, boom, all the way down. That's your training tab. So next time you take training, just make sure you name it the same thing, and it'll write that file. And SharePoint will keep a history of every file ever uploaded on that file name, and you could always go back to a prior one if you wanted to. Okay, so that's your training tab. All right, now last tab, HR. This is mainly for your HR checklist. Okay, so this is one way you can find out if you forgot to do something. Okay, each one of these boxes you need to control click it, and you're going to set the GV tab selected or whatever variable you use for your tabs up here, and set it on the visible tab on the visible property. Okay, so right now it's on all the time. You don't want that. You want GV tab selected. It's 3 because that's the third tab, right? Should be blank when you start. Okay, if you did it right. So the way you check it is you go personal, work, and go to training. If everything looks right, you did it right. So HR checklist. Okay, our HR checklist is basically what your HR is going to use when they onboard someone. Okay. That form you filled out in the beginning was one step of many steps that they have to do. You don't have to do one step, they got to do many. Okay. So what I did is something similar to what I just showed you on the training. Is I'm going to grab all. Basically, what I did is I created a table. Okay, it's not really a table. It looks like a table. I'm going to have all these labels I made. I put lines underneath. I'm not grabbing lines, but you'll see that I grabbed it when I put this up there. It has lines under each one just so it's easier to read. Here we go again. It's not right. Why is this here? That is supposed to be inside the container, not out floating around. Let's open this up. Yeah, it's missing. Go here. Paste. Come back where he belongs. This isn't floating around. This needs to be, this container needs to be on top. So you gotta be careful with containers. If you make your container and then you make fields on your regular screen, it's gonna look like your fields are on top of the container, and it's not. I mean, it technically is, but you want to keep the layers correct. That's where screens come in handy, because screens will create walls between each other. So if you really want to segregate stuff, that's probably the best way to do it. All right. Cool. Trying to figure out why I can't copy these labels from one form to another. You should be able to. Wait, then we got it. It's taking longer at least. Yay! There we go. Alright, so this is going to be the same deal. Alright, so this one I guarantee it's just a visible property causing the problem. Because that variable don't exist in this form. Or in this so variable. Or boom, there we go. So this is the checklist I came up with. Working with my HR and a few other people I talked to. There's one thing I did forget to put in here, which I guess I could put in here later on, I guess. It's the background check, local background check, right? You know, checking for, see if they're a bank robber or a felon or something like that, or an ex-con, you know. You do your local background check, make sure they're not going to steal from your company and stuff like that. But everything else is pretty much here, okay? So step 1 through 4 is actually a complex steps. The rest are just basically toggle stuff. All right, so these are all file upload stuff. That's why they're complex, okay? Because we're gonna upload a file, and then once a file uploads, then it'll autocomplete over here, okay? So got the I-9, W-4, state taxes, and copy driver's license file. Now we're gonna use the exact same setup we did for training, okay? We're not gonna change anything. And then the rest of these are just gonna be toggles that I'm gonna set down here. The first 4 are gonna have toggles too, but they're not gonna, you can't manipulate them. They work off of if something's been uploaded or not. If it's been uploaded, it completes. So just for simplistic cases, what we're gonna do is I'm going to grab the toggles from the other app, let me, and I'll pull those down here. And what these do is they're basically a true false thing, and that's all they do is they tell it if it's true or false. So over here, I'm gonna put all right, so this is gonna have the same thing labeled probably. It's gonna be I just see where is all I won't just forget. So we're gonna change our var tab selected to TV so we can see them. Oops. Get rid of all of these. Okay. So you see how these are grayed out and these are not. Okay. These are grayed out because they're going to depend on the download link showing up. Once it shows up, boom, it'll pop to true. The rest of these are just manually put in. Okay. The reason these are airing out is because the column names don't match up, which I'll do that without you guys watching me. I'll go ahead and fix those. But I'm going to do that right now. So just give me a second and I'll be right back. Okay. I went through and what it needed was the gallery was wrong, right? So if you go to if you go over here to the unchange, you'll notice this says gallery 1. It said gallery 3. That's all I did to fix these ones that are red. Okay, as far as these up here, what I had to do is I had to made up the HTML links like we had in training. I had made it up with these. So basically it says that this has a hyperlink in it, it'll mark it to true. If it doesn't have a hyperlink, then it'll make it to false. Okay. You can, as you can see, they're disabled. You cannot touch them. But these here, when you click on them and you put, you say, yes, I did this step. You click that, and what it'll do is you'll notice in the background, the three little dots, it'll write to SharePoint. It'll mark this one from either from blank to true or false to true, depending on it. It'll mark true regardless. Because you'll see on the on select, uncheck. Oh, I didn't put anything on check here. Interesting. It's supposed to do that. Figure when I copied it over, it copied that too. Okay, well, I'll probably add that later. It does look at SharePoint and see if it's been checked or not, and it will replicate it when you come back. So what I would do is, oh no, it's right here, it's on change. Okay, with toggles you can do different things. Okay, you can do an action for unchecked and a separate action for unchecked. Or you can just do on change and just put the value because it's the same thing as doing it that way. So it does right to it. So if I go in here and check, this one, this one, this one, if I go back on SharePoint, they're going to be all these columns are going to say true. Okay. So see, it actually marks the value of the toggle to that particular column. But as far as the rest of these go, these have to be file uploads. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to basically steal from my app so I don't have to redo this. So let me go up to my app. Oops. And I'm going to grab my 4 icons, my 4 file uploaders. So I don't have to rewrite all this. It's more time. Be more efficient, right? Alright, so I'm going to go here. Go inside here. Paste. There's my 4. Okay, so I'll put them somewhat close where they need to be. We're going to go to visible. Really wish I would just use the same variables. I don't have to do this every single time. Change this to TV so we can see them. And boom, there's my 4 plus bars, right? So, set my on select. Make sure there's nothing wonky about it. You'll notice I use something different now, I9 form and stuff like that. File prefix, everything looks good. Yep. So now, if I want to upload something here, I just go here. Now, since I added this stuff afterwards, you still got to go through here and push it to the top. So it covers up the other stuff. We're going to attach a file. Or something down here. Okay, so we're going to say that's our file. Since we're here, let's go ahead and rehide this because it's not necessary to be there. We just need this and this. Okay, and then we're going to upload the file. When it uploads it, it should bring back a link. Interesting. Seeing nothing errored, but it's not bringing a link. So let's take a look here. If there's blank onboarding on the that's the right one. Let me do that. Well, it's W4 form right there. I wonder why it's not showing. Visible's on. I'm wondering why it's not showing. Let's see what this comes up with. It's true. Hmm. Okay. This looks weird. I'm gonna pause the video for a second, and this is taking a little longer than I thought. I want you sitting there with me looking at the screen. I'll let you know what I find here in a minute. Okay. I wasn't able to figure out why it wouldn't show, but it was supposed to be showing because it showed a URL. So I don't know what was going on. So I just deleted it and recreated it, and now it's working. So when I added that, it put the W4 in there. So this will work the same way. So the rest of this is just manual, right? These are the steps that your HR would take to say someone is onboarded, right? And that's what this is for. And that pretty much completes the app. Okay, so going back to the main screen. Now there's one other thing we do gotta add, and that's my little gallery I have up front here. And that's really simple. You literally just do this. You're literally gonna build that gallery you had on the onboarding screen. So you go insert, we'll grab, now here's where we're gonna grab a blank vertical gallery. Okay, we don't need nothing special. We'll select onboarding, so quit annoying us, right? You slim it down. You know, make it however you want to do it. Now we wanted to show everybody, right? So we're not going to filter it. And then in here, we're going to bring this up around here. So insert label. Pretty much make it the whole width. And then we're going to put their name in here, right? So just to keep it easy, what I want to do is we're going to go so we'll put their last name and their first name. And then over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the image. Image, or the media image. Go down a little bit. And since the names aren't that wide, we'll just over here like so. And now we got our thing, but see you got some spaces in here. What we probably should do with that is go, this is where you probably would want to filter it in case you have something like this in here. So we'll go filter, data source, is blank. This item dot class. Actually, you don't use this item here. Class same. That way, it should take. It should have now. If they don't have a black last name, it's not going to put it in the list. And you could actually have this set this gallery solely on. So like when they click anything in here, it goes to your onboarding library. So you really don't have to have this button, but it's just something different. And we already went over the user search in the previous videos, so that completes our application. Of course, this is an unfinished product. You know, you want to put headers and stuff, you know, make your company logos and stuff. This is just a generalized thing just to give you a functionality check. And as you can see, you know, you could. So we go here, we go into our board of members. Come back here, take you back to the home screen. Supposed to. All right, what's the home screen called? Loading. Oh, I didn't set it. Go figure. Navigate. Go loading. Fade. Alright, now it should work. Okay, it brings you back here. You can search by person. Team. I haven't set those either. Okay. Well, you just got to navigate those to the correct screens. So, other than that, it'll work. So, there's your app. I hope you got something out of this. Sorry, I kind of went back and forth a little bit. This thing does a lot. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, or complaints, put them in the comments. And if you like my app, let me know. If you have any ideas, let me know. You know, make this better. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, or whatever you got going on this time. And I will talk to you next time.